Hello there, everybody. It's me and Cheryl here tonight talking about what does it take to get started to ride, drive, live in, whatever an RV. I mean, everybody's doing something different, aren't they, Cheryl? I mean,
Absolutely.
it's hard to know how to guide people when you don't know exactly what you want. So we're going to just go. Her and I are going to. We're both own vans, so we know why we have those, and we'll talk about what the great, part of that is. And if you're joining us for the first time, we're broadcasting live here on Nomad Lifestyle and over on YouTube. So you can always watch it later on YouTube. Anything that you might not be able to watch tonight, and you want some uh, advice on something, that would be what we're going to talk about tonight. And another one of our regular ladies here is joining us. Mary, how are you?
Hi, Mary.
Doing
Are you
good.
in?
How are you guys?
Good. Are
Good.
you? Looks like you're driving that little pink van over there to the side. It just so happened you're the driver of the driver tonight.
I
Well,
can do that.
and again, we were just talking about how we're all van people, and we're going to talk tonight about it's kind of classroom style. So you'll
Okay.
get to talk a lot tonight because we're going to ask you questions about the number one thing we talked about when we did what rig should I buy was uh, well, how do you see yourself going down the road? So we're going to give you pointers on, some people just literally don't know where to get started. Have you noticed that on some of these posts?
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm researching this and I'm researching that, and there's a lot to it when you think about it.
Yes.
So, what would you say, Cheryl, if someone came to you and says, "I want to buy a rig and I want to do that like RV van lifestyle"? What
Yeah,
would you be? What would be
I
your
think
first?
I think my number one piece of advice was, what do you have now?
Okay.
Is there any way you can use the vehicle you have now to just try it out and see if you're gonna be comfortable in it? Um, how much more of an upgrade do you need to be comfortable?
Hmm.
Am I going to be scared out there? Some people go to all this expense and get all, packed up and ready to go and realize
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
you need to be able to get past all the questions to know where your money is best spent.
Right.
I started out in my car thinking, oh, this is fun. I'm going to be able to live in my car. Like,
Oh, you did.
I all these people that are just living in their car. I really seriously thought I was going to live in my car.
Well,
Yeah,
look at how many people do.
I know
There's,
they do, and I have all the praise in the world for them.
I do too,
Yep.
especially at toilet time. Ooh,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There's
Um,
once I peed on my seats.
oh yeah.
This is not good.
No. Let me
Yeah.
ask Mary. If I asked you, Mary, um, what I'm thinking about buying something, I don't even know what to buy. What would the first thing out of your mouth be to tell me?
I would say to start, just like Papa said, to start right where you are. It's because you want to see if you're going to like it. You want to know if you want more room or less. Some people like a lot of things. Some people are minimalist. We
Mhm.
just sold a Honda Odyssey last week and are picking up 2 more Siennas tomorrow. Um,
Wow,
Yeah, because
wow.
people they tend to want to start in minivans, and because they're so easy to convert to what we call micro campers,
Mhm.
um,
Right.
and then you could go up from there. But it's harder to go down. It's easier to go
Oh,
up.
yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep. Well, that's a great answer. I think mine would be, similar. Like, um, what are your like Cheryl said? Are you a minimalist, or do you like, you have to carry everything? You think you have to carry everything, but once you go out there, but someone I read one day on one of the posts that asked the same question was, why don't you rent one? Like maybe a class C, and see, is that big enough? Can you drive it? How's the storage? All of that. And I thought that was kind of a good answer too. But renting one's really expensive,
Not cheap, that's for sure.
not cheap. And so, is it worth it to you to have an answer after you've just paid, like, let's say maybe $1,500, $2,000, whatever, with gas and rental? It's going to be expensive.
Mhm.
But So that's really good answers. You want to move, probably up rather than down. Although I moved down over the years, and it was mainly because I saw myself going out on the road different than I see myself out on the road different than I did in those days. That was my party. My first one was a party, was the family. We had Thanksgiving there. It was, we went camping, and that's not my life today. Um, okay, so what do we have to do to get started? Do you have any, Cheryl, uh, resources that you can think of that we can tell people that want to get started that you know of?
Well, the YouTube obviously
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
there's so many people out there that are doing YouTube channels, but
Hmm.
um, Bob Wells is probably he's the first one I found,
Yeah,
and there's just different people with different types of rigs, and once you click on one, then others will pop up on the right, and you click
yeah,
on that, you
that's
find
right.
somebody that you gel with.
Uh-huh.
You know, is this the kind of lifestyle I'd like? And there's some of them that show, young women that are ended up, young and old, that ended up homeless for whatever reason, and they're in their
Hmm.
Honda Civic and making it work. They're killing
Yeah,
it out there,
yeah,
and it's not always good. I mean, sometimes they're out there and struggling, but I think the more you see and the more you absorb of what other people are going through, I think it's easier to handle your own issues. It's like, okay, so and so can do it, I can do it.
yep. That's a perfect answer. And I think, Mary, wouldn't you agree that YouTube's probably the best resource that we have?
Yeah, that's where I started. And I don't even know how I stumbled upon it. I was just kind of going through YouTube, and yeah, same thing. Bob Wells, RV Living came up. But one of the reasons I kind of recommend minivans is if there is a homeless situation, in a minivan you have room.
Hmm.
Um, I know some people do it in cars. That would be difficult for me, but in a minivan, you can get them kind of cheap, if you get an older one and a good one, and then you can live there. But the one thing I would recommend to anybody getting started is to go to, if you're going to do a car type thing or van type thing, go to carcomplaints.com, because you'll find out really quick what years and what vehicles have problems over the years, and at least you
Oh.
can start with
Hmm.
something that's reliable.
Uh-huh. And what
Right.
is that
Yeah,
again? It bounced out a little bit. What was it, .com? What was it?
carcomplaints.com.
Oh, carcomplaints.com. Okay. I've never heard of that, but that's a great suggestion. By the way, it looks like you're driving.
Yep,
Are you going somewhere?
just headed home.
That is a perfect nomad scene right there. Let me talk and
Yes,
drive at the
I
same
love
time. In fact, I think I'll put you at full screen and just let you, you can carry the whole thing. Look at that. That looks great. Look at that. Where are you? In Atlanta? Is that in Atlanta?
This is Atlanta, north of Atlanta. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well,
But
I like that. That's a good scene right there. Um, all right, so we get started. We go out and rent one, or talk it around. Go to YouTube. What do you hear, Cheryl, other people doing? Have you seen, like, on any of the groups that you follow, what people are doing? I know they throw out the questions at the group,
right. You mean as far as
helping them, yeah, helping people get started.
helping people get started?
Like, I used to go to RV shows. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I used to go to
Yeah.
RV shows and piddle around RV shows.
Right. I've done that a dozen times
Ah,
at least.
I covet too much when I'm out at the RV shows, though.
That's the thing, especially if I bring my husband along.
Yeah.
We ended up with a 38-foot fifth wheel
Wow.
at an RV show one time. So we
Oh,
went
that's
from
a,
the fifth wheel to a small bumper pull to a truck camper, and now I'm down to just a van because he decided he doesn't want to go anywhere anyway. So
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay.
So it's
Oh,
just me and a full size van.
yeah.
So,
Okay, good. All right. Well, we're back. Mary was driving along there. It looks so cool. Look at the sunroof open. You see the trees up there and
yeah,
everything.
blue sky.
Dang, that's lovely. Okay, so we're getting started. We're going to go to YouTube. We're going to go rent one. We're going to go to RV shows. Um,
What
what I
about
used to do
Meetup?
too is meetups. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, so I was, in looking at some of those YouTubes on cheap RV living, they would have sometimes they would meet up and they would help each other build and exchange
yeah.
items and sell things
Mhm.
for their van, show them how to do things. I thought that was cool.
I it's it's
Right.
it's amazing how huge this thing is. I mean, really, that whole I saw that announcement today from Bob Wells on they're going to build 48 vans for people in
Woo!
October.
I'm actually signed up to volunteer for that.
Did
Oh,
you?
Yep.
wow.
I'm going to spend October in Pahrump helping build vans. They haven't got
That's
back to me to tell me exactly what my capacity is going to be, but I volunteered anyway. We'll
yeah.
see what happens.
I honor you and commend you because I think the people that volunteer for that kind of stuff it's just such. I mean, who would think what a worthy cause, for maybe a woman that's got a van, she needs a bed or just whatever they do. I just think
Mm-hmm.
it's such a worthy cause and what a
Absolutely.
creative cause and what a
Mhm.
great way to build community. And in fact, why don't we suggest on our video tonight, if you are thinking about looking into something, it would not, and you're near Pahrump, Nevada, which is, I believe, about 90 miles north of or close to Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's outside of Las Vegas.
Yeah. Put that down for as sometime in
I believe
October.
the sign up to get involved was the end of October, but you
Okay.
might be able to go to homesonwheelsalliance.com
Okay.
and look it up. It might be
Yeah.
today, but I know it was like the end of August, beginning of September, and they're deciding this week whose vans are going to get worked on.
Yeah. I think that's so amazing. But the point is, if you want to just drive out there and see and look and get ideas and talk to people, I
Right,
think these meetups that he puts on like that are you're getting right to the core of
right.
what you want. And now, I would say anyone that's and I've seen this not so much on Facebook and some of the meetups, but there are people out there that are in the market for big bad mama jamma class A's. And I think that person, if you're listening tonight or watching this later, there are so many places you can go to find out information on that. And I would suggest going to dealerships and getting with the reps that really know each product, like the Thor product or the Forest River product or whatever, and do your comparisons based on what they have where you can touch and feel it, and go out to dealerships and see that. Uh,
Mhm.
that's a whole different buyer right there. They're looking for floor plan and colors and stuff like that, whereas van lifer's looking for a van like what Cheryl's doing. She's buffing out. She bought a van. She searched around for it. It wasn't really the exact one you wanted, was it, Cheryl? Isn't it? But you liked it so much you thought, I'll reconfigure it.
Right. I actually was looking for a minivan,
Yeah.
and one hadn't come up that was in my price range. And
Hmm.
one day I was on the Facebook Marketplace and I saw a Chevy Express van on there, and 12 passenger van. And I thought, that'll work. And the
Yeah.
price was very reasonable. And
Does
it
it
was,
ever work now, boy?
oh man, I
You know,
love my van.
I mean, I'm coveting you. Every time I just saw a van dealership today and there was a bunch of passenger vans, I went, oh man, should I go in there and look at those? I mean, really, what you're doing to me is probably, I don't know. It just seems like it'd be so much fun. Then putting a roof on it, everybody, by the way, too.
Yeah, high tops.
She's coming down.
And that
Yeah,
was
high
one of
top.
those things, that kind of evolved for me. when I first got it, it's like, I don't need to stand up. But after I got out and about in it, I realized, this would be so much better if I
Yeah.
could stand up to get dressed. And um,
So enjoyable.
that storage up top, because they
Hmm.
cut the top off and they leave a lip all the way around.
Oh,
And
nice.
way over the cab, and then halfway over the bed is all going to be storage, and then about a 8-inch lip all the way around that I can put like a small narrow cabinet,
Right.
not very deep cabinet, shallow.
Now, after you looked and decided on the passenger van, you got it at a good price. You're going to go put a high top on it. Have you thought about when you're done, what that thing is going to be worth? I mean, like how much money you've actually invested in
Yeah,
it?
I'll have about 13,000
Oh,
in.
that's good.
Yeah,
Oh, that's good.
because I
So,
got a really screaming deal on the van itself.
okay.
Well, if I would have paid my husband for the labor that he put into it,
Well, yeah,
it would have been a
yeah,
couple thousand more. But
right,
if I would have had to pay somebody to build the bed,
right.
whatever. My kitchen consists of 2 nightstands with drawers that I got at a garage sale for $5, and an old countertop that came out of an apartment that we demoed that's been in our garage for about 10 years. We cut that down to fit on there perfectly, cut a hole in it, dropped a salad bowl in, and that's my kitchen.
That's awesome. Stand by, you guys. Would you guys talk for a minute while I remove myself?
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if it was expensive, but yeah, no, that doesn't sound bad at all. And you know
No,
what? I think you should get what you want and make it the way you want it, because
that's,
got it.
yeah, exactly. And, my husband's like, why are you spending this money on this? It's like, well, because I don't want to have to buy another one down the road.
Right.
I want this now, and I want it
Yeah.
for later. And it's my
And you're
daily.
making it the way you want it,
Yeah, making
Yes.
it the way I want it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about. We have a few more minutes left here for the people that are getting started, and I know some people kind of know what they're talking about. They know about electricity, inverters, energy management systems. They know about sewage and this and that. But there's other people that are just they hear the story of like what a unit takes place, and they get overwhelmed and go, oh my gosh, how did you ever learn all this stuff? So um, what if I came to you, Cheryl, and said, and I'm going to ask you the same thing, Mary, so get ready. If I
Mhm.
came to you and said, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, um, is there a quick route to this? I mean, what questions should I be asking myself? What research should I be doing? What would you tell them?
Well, as far as all of the build or just individual pieces?
Yeah,
So,
just
like for electricity, I think the two things that get most women is, number one, how do I get electricity in my van? And
mhm.
number two, how do I go to the bathroom?
Yep, perfect.
And those are two things that, if you don't understand how to hook the batteries up and everything to do a whole house battery setup, then a Blue Eddy or Jackery is
Mhm,
the way to go. And buy the biggest one you can afford.
mhm.
Sometimes
Okay,
they'll have a sale. If you buy the big one, the little one comes with it, and then you got a backup.
there
And
you go.
buy solar panels that
Mhm,
you can either put on your rig, or if you don't have the means or the place to attach them, have separate ones that you can set outside your rig and
oh, yeah.
recharge.
Mhm.
So anybody can do that.
Yeah, that's great advice.
I absolutely was going to do that. And then my husband says, well, we'll just do this, and don't ask me what he did. He ran
Oh,
wires underneath from the main battery and
oh, okay. Put
got
an
a
inverter in
into
probably,
it.
yeah.
I go down the road. So it's, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
I've got
that's
that.
perfect.
And the second
So
one is
yeah, go ahead.
bathroom. People say, oh, well, how do you get by without a toilet? And um,
Yep.
number one, 90% of the time, you're going to be able to find a bathroom to go number two.
Mhm,
And so if you have an emergency bucket in case you can't find a place, but then
mhm.
just find some kind of sealable, wide mouth jug of some sort that you can pee into in your car. And unless you're really disabled and don't have the
Yeah.
flexibility,
Right.
just about any vehicle you can figure out a way, and you
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
practice in your driveway.
Yeah.
Put in your window covers and practice in your driveway.
Yeah. That's great, great advice, and that's probably, like you said, the 2 most important things people ask about. The power stations, which are not even heard of when I started, in 2011. I would have loved to had a power station out
Oh
there.
yeah, that makes it life so much.
Yeah.
Of course, we have more electronics and stuff that have to be
We
charged.
do. Yeah, we do, exactly, yeah, but I was always looking for rest stops with electricity and this, that, and the other. Is there anything you could share, with these new people that are just overwhelmed, Mary, that, like, what's things to consider, something they would wanna consider?
Well, the one thing I thought about when I first kind of started was warmth. Warmth
There you
or
go.
coolness. Oh, can you hear
Mhm.
me?
Yes. Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So warmth or coolness. That was important to me. So and comfort. So understanding, either you're using the benches in your if we're talking vans, or some kind of camp cot or sleeping bags, just make sure that wherever you are and where you're going, that you're comfortable. Um,
Mhm.
survivable, actually, because it can get cold or get very hot.
Yeah.
That was something else. So understanding, like sleeping bag, I'll start with that. Understand how to rate sleeping bags for the
Mhm.
temperature, so for where you're going. That was so important to me.
Yeah.
um, and I did a good
That's
job of
really
that. Yeah.
that's good advice. So we've got, the power, toilet, and heat and air conditioning. Probably you gotta ask yourself those things. Well, how do you see yourself? I went out without any of that on my first trip in 2011 and froze my you-know-what off in Amarillo, Texas at 19 degrees in an uninsulated van, and that's when I realized how important that is, and sat in another uninsulated cargo van that I had in, Barstow, California. I can remember it at 97 degrees and sweated like I never thought about a
Mhm.
fan or anything. Now that's all we talk about. What kind of fan do you have? And oh my gosh, and how do you power your heater? And da da da. So all these things, what is important to you? You know, uh, Cheryl and I and Mary, we talk about we got our little, porta potty stuff, and it's no big deal. It's just a natural process. They don't have to have a gold toilet.
Yeah.
you
You
know.
also don't have to, I mean, when people talk about, oh, I use wood chips and I use
Oh
this
yeah.
and this gel.
Hmm. I lost her. I lost her.
So,
Bummer.
if I just brought up some newspaper in the bottom to,
Yeah, Cheryl, I don't know if you can hear me, but it's powering out. And so I think what happened is, so I'm going to kind of cap this discussion because of my Wi-Fi tonight is not the best. I'm on my hotspot, so I'm out in a place where there's public Wi-Fi and it didn't work, so I'm on my hotspot.
oh,
So we got to half of what you just said, Cheryl, and then you froze up.
oh, I was just to summarize, you don't really need all the chemicals and
Oh
everything.
yes, hmm,
If you go to buy good quality bags that don't leak.
right there you
And
go.
I use like mailing bags. One second.
Yeah,
Now she said mailing bags. I'm interested to hear what that
that's
means.
what I was going to say. I'm
Okay,
wait.
I'm back. So I just take I use like a wastebasket liner, and
Right.
then roll it all up, and I put it in one of these. It's just like a poly mailer. And
Oh,
so
they're like very
put
secure.
it in
Uh-huh.
there, roll it down, zip it
There you
tight,
go.
and then you can carry this to the garbage can discreetly,
Boop. Yep.
and nobody knows what it is. It's
That's right.
just in the garbage.
You are amazing. You got all kinds of amazing little things.
I
Well, I'm
learned,
hoping
I learned
that
it all on YouTube.
learned it all on YouTube. So we're going to tell everybody to go back to YouTube, Go back to your research.
Yeah.
Call Mary if you want a van. She's a broker, Mary.
Yeah.
Be sure and post on our Nomad page every once in a while that you are looking for vans and selling vans, and let people
Okay.
know. And just to cap everything else up here, we're going to Oceanside. You can see up there on the right-hand corner on the 26th and 27th of this month, September. That's right. Today's the 1st. Cheryl already has bought her commemorative hoodie to wear.
I did.
I saw that on the roster today.
Yeah.
That was very sweet of you.
Like I need
Support
another
cause.
hoodie.
What's that?
Like I need another hoodie.
I know. I thought for sure you'd buy the little hat.
I'm
But
not a big hat
I
person.
know. You told me that.
I
know it.
should. Everybody in
Well,
my house, everybody in my family has got skin cancer, but me, it's like, let the sun shine.
whatever. Yeah, I know you're a sun lover. So that's another announcement. And so we will see you all. Like I said, I'm in travel mode right now. So there might be some changes throughout the month, a couple little things happening, but just stay posted. We always can talk to each other on the Nomad Facebook page. And excitement is brewing. I mean, we're getting close, Cheryl. We're going to actually get to
Getting
see each
there.
other, face
I'm
to face.
leaving. Where's my calendar?
Oh,
I actually have my countdown here.
oh,
14 days I leave.
oh, you're leaving right around the middle of September.
I'm leaving on the 15th
I'm leaving on the 14th.
because I've got a quilt show to go to in Portland, and then I'm going to visit a bunch of relatives, and I'm going to take the slow route down the coast of California.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
Good
excited.
girl. And that's why I'm saying this whole month of Nomad Weeklies might be a little wobbly. So I'll post what's going on. But Mary, we didn't see you last week, but we did decide on April at Inks State Park in Texas.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and so we'll get a meetup page next month because you can't even do anything till November anyway. So you never know what could happen between now and then. So
Right.
my life's
Oh,
kind of
actually, I was there last week. I was just on Facebook, but I had the chance to listen to the top
good.
3. Yeah, and so that was really good. It was interesting. I'm
Oh,
excited.
good. All right. Well, thank you both for coming in on a Thursday. Nomad lifestyle. We really, really are enjoying the life that we're living. I know all of us are. There's no complaints anywhere. So we'll see and talk to you next week. Don't go away. I'm just going to end this broadcast, and